Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, 6th canto, chapter 2, text number 18. 18 I will read for myself, 19 we will all repeat. Ajnanad atavajnana uttamaslokanāmayad sankirtitam agam pumso dahed edo etanalaha. Ajnanad, what word meaning you can repeat please? Ajnanad, out of ignorance. Athava, or jnanat, with knowledge. Uttama sloka, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nama, the holy name. Yet, that which. Sankirtitam, chanted. Agam, sin. Pumsaha, of a person. Dahed, burns to ashes. Edaha, dry grass. Yatha, just as. Analaha, fire. Translation and purport by Divine Gadesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. As the fire burns dry grass to ashes, so the holy name of the Lord, whether chanted knowingly or unknowingly, burns to ashes without fail all the reaction of one's sinful activities. Please repeat the translation. As a fire burns dry grass to ashes, so the holy name of the Lord, whether chanted knowingly or unknowingly, burns to ashes without fail all the reaction of one's sinful activities. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Purport. Fire will act regardless of whether handled by an innocent child or by someone well aware of its power. For example, if a field of straw or dry grass is set afire, either by an elderly man who knows the power of fire or by a child who does not, the grass will be burnt to ashes. Similarly, one may or may not know the power of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, but if one chants the holy name, he will become free from all sinful reaction. We will chant together. 19th verse. Yatha agadam viratamam, yatha agadam viratamam, yatha agadam viratamam, upayuktam upayaktam yadrichaya, upayuktam yadrichaya, upayuktam yadrichaya, ajanataha api atmagunam, ajanato api atmagunam, ajanato api atmagunam, kuryan mantraha api udarataha, kuryan mantro api udarataha, kuryan mantro api udarataha, yathagadam viratamam, upayuktam yadrichaya, ajanato api atmagunam, kuryan mantro api udarataha. Word meaning. Yataha, just like agadam, medicine, viryatamam, very powerful, upayuktam, properly taken, adrichaya, some other, ajanata, by a person without knowledge, api, even, atmagunam, its own potency, kuryat, manifest, mantraha, the Hare Krishna mantra, api, also, udarataha, chanted. Translation and purport by Divine Gazeti Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: if a person unaware of the effective potency of a certain medicine takes that medicine or is forced to take it, it will act even without his knowledge, because its potency does not depend on the patient's understanding. Similarly, even though one does not know the value of chanting the holy name of the Lord, if one chants knowingly or unknowingly, the chanting will be effective. Please repeat the translation. If a person unaware of the effective potency of a certain medicine takes that medicine or is forced to take it, it will act even without his knowledge, because its potency does not depend on the patient's understanding. Similarly, even though one does not know the value of chanting the holy name of the Lord, if one chants knowingly or unknowingly, the chanting will be effective. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the Western countries where the Hare Krishna movement is spreading, learned scholars and other thoughtful men are realizing its effectiveness. For example, Dr. J. Stilson Judah, a learned scholar, has been very much attracted to this movement because he has actually seen that it is turning hippies addicted to drugs into pure Vaishnava who voluntarily become servants of Krishna and humanity. Even a few years ago, such hippies did not know the Hare Krishna mantra, but now they are chanting it and becoming pure Vaishnavas. Thus they are becoming free from all sinful activities such as illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating and gambling. This is practical proof of the effectiveness of the Hare Krishna movement, which is supported in this verse. One may or may not know the value of chanting Hare Krishna mantra, but if somehow or other chants it, he will immediately be purified. Just as one takes a potent medicine, will feel its effect regardless of whether he takes it knowingly or unknowingly. Thus in the Bhaktivedanta purport, Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnanam Jana Shalakaya Saskurun Militam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prajarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Destarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangulangai degiri yat kripatamande Shri Guru Dintarina. So in this chapter we have been reading the glories of holy name, and in today's truth these verses directly it's mentioned that whether we chant knowingly or unknowingly, actually this Hare Krishna will be freed from all reaction of one sinful activity. First verse says, as a fire burns dry grasses to ashes, so the holy name of the Lord, whether chanted knowingly or unknowingly, burned to ashes without fail the reaction of one's sinful activities. So we are all in this material world, we are all conditioned living entity, we are all here due to our past sinful activities. So when we come to this world, we have to act. When we act, again we get into more and more sinful activity. So, but we have got a very powerful method how to overcome. Like in the last Thursday verse also was discussing how we may do different vrata, tapasya, all these things. But still the tendency to commit the sinful activities will again sprout up. Unless and until one takes to devotional service. That verse was saying about, talking about devotion, bhakti yoga. So with these two verses, actually this conversation is going on, we have been hearing between Vishnu Dutas and Yama Dutas. And Yama Dutas, they are there to take Ajamila's soul to their master Yamaraja. At that point of time, Vishnu's carrier, Vishnu Dutas, they came and they are giving this logic and reasoning why Ajamila's soul should not be taken. Because he chanted the name of his son Narayana. Correct? So, Prabhupada gives a very good example. Just like we are all conditioned, how we are conditioned, actually we just can't do anything. For example, a person is habituated to steal. So he knows stealing is not good. He has got sufficient knowledge. He knows also that if he is caught, he will be punished. But in spite of that, he is forced to steal. So Prabhupada writes, that's why they go during the dead night, dark area, they go and try to steal. Because open, it's not difficult. Nowadays that is also happening. Daylight robbery and all these things are happening. But normally they steal because they know they will be caught, they will be punished. But still there is some force behind it. They are not able to give it up. That's why we are all called conditioned. We are conditioned. We just can't get liberated from this material world on our own unless we take to the process mentioned here. Particularly the process of devotional service, of chanting and rendering devotional service to the Lord. So Arjuna also asked the same question in the Bhagavad Gita, the 3rd chapter. Though I don't want to commit sin, none of us want to commit sinful activities, knowingly at least, correct? But we are sometimes forced to commit. What is the force? In fact, the 3rd chapter, 36th verse, this Arjuna is asking, so in that purport also Prabhupada writes, and we are living entity, we are all part and parcel of the Supreme Personality, and we are pure. But when we come in touch with the material nature, actually we act in a sinful way. Otherwise, soul, we all know, Satchit Ananda, it is pure. Because we come in touch with this material world, we come in touch with the material nature, we commit sinful activities. And there Prabhupada also writes, generally people say, whatever happened, it's all because of Lord only, no? Generally people come with this idea. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, sinful acts are not impelled by the super soul. It's not that Paramatma is guiding us to go and do sinful activity. It will not tell. Paramatma will not tell us. Lord will not tell. Lord directions are there. But the living entity, because of their past activities, actually they indulge in sinful activity. So the reason in the next verse it is mentioned, Kamaesha Krodesha Rajoguna Samudbha. It is because of this lower guna, this kama, this lust, is all sinful devouring of the spirit soul we commit because of rajoguna and tamoguna. So predominantly, if you see in this material world, we are all conducting by rajoguna and tamoguna. And that's why Vedic literature helps us, at least we should come to goodness, sattva guna. Sattva guna is mode of goodness. And even we have to go beyond it, Shuddha Sattva. At least right now we should aim to come to Sattva Guna. So that is possible actually if Prabhupada writes, because our heart right now is filled with lot of dirty things. All our heart. Dirty things. What is the dirty thing? The main thing is we want to enjoy. Enjoy independent of Lord. Scripture says enjoyment is not denied. But when we try to enjoy independent of Lord, actually that is where we get more and more entangled in this material world. So this is possible. We can be reformed. Prabhupada writes, we can be reformed, we can be melted by the process of devotional service. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mami partha vapashritya epi papayonayo striya vaishya tata sudra tebi param gati. That is, even the lowest of the man can be purified if they take shelter of the Supreme Personality of the God. So there it is mentioned, Striya, Vaishya, Shudra. In that purport also Prabhupada writes how not only Shudras, below Shudras also, Kirata, Unandara, Pulkasa, all the different races are mentioned in the Bhagavatam. They can also be purified because they are very, very sinful. In that elaborate purport in the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes, they are different. They are belonging to many foreign countries, actually, all the different races. Prabhupada has analyzed many nicely that verse also. So there it is meant, Sadapashraya Shreya. If you take shelter of a pure devotee who has taken the shelter of the Supreme Lord, you will be freed from the sinful activity, from the sinful reaction. Because otherwise there is no other way out. We are all right now in the material world. So we are acting. Again we are committing some sinful, knowing, that's why this verse also says, whether you commit, just like very good example, both these verses give very good example. A fire, just like a stack of dry grass is there, one matchstick is enough actually. You just light that matchstick and put it there, within no time whole that godown will be burnt. Because fire has got that potency. So that's what this verse says, as the fire burned the dry grass to ashes, so the holy name of the Lord, whether chanted knowingly or unknowingly, burned to ashes without fail. See, just like if you have a wet grass, you have a green grass or grass, a lot of water is mixed in that, you go and light n number of matchstick, you try to put kerosene and try to burn, it will not burn easily. Because that dry grass, it has got that potency. Similarly, if you chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Prabhupada writes in both the purport, the power of chanting Hare Krishna Mantra, but if one, similarly, one may or may not know the power of chanting Hare Krishna Mantra, but if one chants the holy name, he will become free from all sinful reaction. So it should give a lot of hope for us, because we are in this material world, knowingly, unknowingly, just like we walk. When we are walking, we may trample some ant, some insect. So we are liable for that reaction also. We don't have any right to take others' life. So, but we keep on chanting Hare Krishna, performing devotional service, circumambulating the Tulsi Maharani. By doing all these things, actually we'll be freed from the sinful reaction. So, In the Bhagavatam, there is a nice verse in the 9th canto. There it's mentioned that about this pastime between Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj. That verse also says, fire burns dry grasses to ashes. There it is mentioned, we know how Ambarish Maharaj was a pure devotee, Vaishnava. But Durvasa Muni actually tried to punish Ambarish Maharaj, because we know in that pastime, I will not go into detail, that they all came on the Dwadasi day. Ambarish Maharaj was fasting on Ekadasi and he had to break the fast, and Dwadasi Parayana time was there. So he came with all his disciples, and youth in 1,000, and anybody, a Kshatriya, Muni comes, a Kshatriya has to respect him, offer him footstep, all these things are mentioned in the scriptures. So Durvasa Muni asked them to go and finish their daily ablution and then come. By then he thought he will make it ready. But they went, they are getting delayed. So Durvasa Muni, when he came, he saw that on the consultation of the Brahmanas, Ambarish Maharaj had taken little water actually. That's all. So it is said in the scriptures, if somebody takes water, it amounts to breaking the fast as well as not breaking the fast also, it is mentioned like that. So he took little water, and this Durvasa Muni is a big Muni. So he came to know what has happened, and he came, he wanted to chastise him, Ambarish Maharaj, for no fault of him actually. But Ambarish Maharaj, being a devotee, he was not at all perturbed. So we know Durvasa Muni created a demon out of his head, and it went to attack Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj was just meditating on the Lord, thinking of Lord, and immediately Lord knows, Lord sent this Sudarshan Chakra, and then Durvasa Muni was chased. So in detail it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. So the point is, Lord is always willing to protect his devotee. That's why Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Kaunteya pratijanehi name bhakti pranashyati. He tells Arjuna to declare that my devotees will not be perished, will not be vanquished. Actually in that purport also Prabhupada writes, Lord knows how to protect the devotee. In many places when you come across this, it's referring to pure devotees actually. Lord's total protection is there. But in Prabhupada writes, even a person who is just beginning his devotional service, see, if we see we are trying to be a sadhaka, we are trying to be a devotee, see, actually Lord is protecting us again and again. Otherwise we can fall down any time. Correct? So Prabhupada writes that. So this is possible because Lord is very merciful, and he is always eagerly waiting. If somebody is rendering service, chanting his name, offering prayers, he is always very active. He wants to protect a devotee like that. Prabhupada in another place he writes, this chanting of Krishna's name is like sun rising in one's darkened heart. So your heart is now full of dirty things, full of dark. By Krishna's special mercy, devotees are all kept in the light of Krishna consciousness. So it's Krishna's special mercy that we are all kept in the light of this Krishna consciousness. Because outside world is always glaring, correct? We can all fall victim any time. It's actually Krishna's causeless, special mercy that is actually. So, therefore, we have to render, from our side, we have to render this devotional service very sincerely and seriously. This one life, we should take that tapasya, at least. Now that we have got this opportunity, and we don't know when we are going to get next, so we should finish off the business of Krishna consciousness in this life only. Then Prabhupada writes in that context, we should be very enthusiastic to render more and more devotional service. A devotee is always waiting for an opportunity to do some service, more service. Not that I have been asked to do my regular duty, routine duty, that's all. If somebody comes and says, do this, do that, no, Prabhu, I am very busy, I have to do this. No, because we are chanting, we are doing devotional service, we are praying to Lord, Lord, please engage me in your service. That is the meaning. So when you get an opportunity like that, we should be very enthusiastic. Maybe little tapasya we have to take. Maybe we have to reduce little sleep or whatever it is. And it doesn't come always. Once in a while it will come. So like that Prabhupada mentioned, you should be enthusiastic to render more and more devotional service. And this will come when you chant with faith and determination. See, this faith is very important because the whole Leela of this Ajamila pastime we are hearing, 3 chapters are dedicated in the Bhagavatam. We are in the 2nd chapter there. So he was just calling out his son's name, Narayana. But as we read, he was chanting without offense and he was chanting helplessly. So when you call out the Lord like that, Lord is right there. He will come and protect us. So actually in Namamrita, there are many verses very beautifully actually in this book is compiled. I'll just read a couple of in connection with this actually. Many verses, many purports, nicely it is done actually. Here it is mentioned, by chanting in the Madhya Leela, by chanting the holy name, one is freed from sinful reaction of many millions of lives. By chanting once the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one will be freed from the reaction of millions of life. Lord Chaitanya, to a Mohammedan holy man, is saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please get up. You have chanted the holy name of Krishna. Therefore, the sinful reaction you have accrued for many millions of lives are now gone. You are now pure. See, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself is saying this. So, when we chant, following all the instructions, following without committing any offenses, helplessly, then we can expect Lord's mercy like this. And in this context, one more verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chand Kazi to Lord Chaitanya, this is. After hearing the complaints in sweet words, I told them, please go back home. I shall certainly prohibit Nimai Pandit from continuing his Hare Krishna movement. Then Kazi says, I know that Narayana is the supreme God of the Hindus, and I think that you are the same Narayana. This I feel within my mind. After hearing the Kazi speak so nicely, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched him and smilingly spoke as follows. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna from your mouth has performed a wonder. It has nullified the reaction of all your sinful activities. Now you have become supremely pure. See, Kazi, if you go to Mayapur, we see that pastime also, the tomb is there. He just chanted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name, Narayana. He said, you are the same Narayana. And now you have become supremely pure. Because you have chanted the holy names of Lord Hari, Krishna, Narayana, you are undoubtedly the most fortunate and pious. So see how fortunate we are. We got it very easily. By the mercy of Prabhupada, by the mercy of Prabhupada's institution, we got this. So we should stick on to this, we should seriously take to this, chanting Hare Krishna. Like that, there are many verses are there in this. here again in this Parasurama's pastimes also, here it is mentioned, the chanting of the Maha-mantra is a special concession in the Kali Yuga to save people from the reaction, known or unknown sinful activities. So anyone in this material world, however careful he may be, must commit some sinful activities even though he does not want to. See, we may be careful, we may be vigilant, but we may end up in committing sinful activity. For example, one may trample, it's mentioned here. Therefore, the Vedic principle of Pancha Yajna, that is okay. Then, actually, Prabhupada writes here in the purport of the Srimad-Bhagavatam, Yajna Sankirtana prayajanti sumedha. We may worship Lord Chaitanya, the hidden incarnation of Krishna. Okay. The performance of Sankirtana Yajna is a special concession for immense society to save people from being affected by known or unknown sinful activities. So by chanting, by doing Sankirtana, by engaging in devotional service, actually we'll be free from sinful activities. We are surrounded by unlimited sins, and therefore, Prabhupada writes, we are surrounded by unlimited sin, and therefore it is compulsory one take to Krishna consciousness and chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. See, we are surrounded by sinful activities. We cannot escape. We are here. So, and here one more very interesting thing is there. In this, actually, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita again, the Madhya Leela, for first chapter, 190, there actually Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, very beautiful actually, that chapter, very nicely it is explained the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when they first came to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they presented themselves as Nicha Jati. They are saying actually Nicha Jati and Nicha Sangi, and they are comparing themselves to Jagai and Madai. They are telling, we know the story of Jagai and Madai, but they are telling Jagai and Madai, they are far, far superior to us. Why? Because they are bringing out three reasons there. So first thing they are telling that they belong to a Brahmana caste. They were Brahmanas actually, Jagai and Madai, brothers. In fact, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, Rupa and Sanatana in their earlier life, they were also from Brahmana family from Karnataka only. But because they accepted the service of Nawab, they are considering themselves to be very fallen. And second about Jagai Madai is, they were residents in the holy place of Navadvipa. So anybody who is born, anybody who is residing in the holy dham, they are definitely not an ordinary soul. And third reason, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami they are giving, they never served low class person. So if you read that conversation, many verses actually in the purport, Prabhupada brings out many important things actually. So unfortunately, because Rupa and Sanatana were being associated with the Muslim government service, Prabhupada writes there, their customs and behavior resembled to those of Muslim. Their customs and behavior resembled to those of Muslim, who were, and basically they were opposing Brahmanas, and they are not giving protection to the cows. That is the main defect of these rulers actually. So they introduce to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this way. They are belonging to a very lower class, Nicha Jati and Nicha Sangi. No one is more sinful, no one is more offender like us. Like that they are introducing to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's why we are more fallen than Jagai and Madai, because we know Jagai and Madai, though they were born in a Brahmana family, because of wrong association, bad association, they got into sinful activities. That is the thing. But when finally by chanting, by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, we know how they were excused because they were committing so much sinful activities in and around Navadvip, and they even went to beat, so they threw stones, hurled stones at Nityananda Prabhu. He got hurt, and we know how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to know, he sent his Sudarshana Chakra, but Nityananda Prabhu is actually a mercy incarnation. He said, no, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in this incarnation you are not going to use any weapon, so please excuse them. So on the request of Nityananda Prabhu, we know the Jagai Madai were excused on a condition that they should chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and should not commit sinful activities. So this is the position of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and here in this second verse also this purport Prabhupada writes that in the Western country where the Hare Krishna movement is spreading, learned scholars and thoughtful men are realizing the effectiveness. Because you see, their EPs are becoming into devotees. If you see our life also, before we came into Krishna consciousness, we were all into our own world. We are doing whatever we felt it's good. Correct? So, because we took to the process, and some Shraddha, some faith, we are just trying to practice this. So, a lot of we are also we are continuing our devotional service. So there it is mentioned in that second purport that a learned scholar has been very much attracted to this movement because he was actually seen that he is turning EPs addicted to drug into pure Vaishnavas and to voluntarily become servant of Krishna and humanity. So just by chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we know how Prabhupada went and preached the glories all over the world, and people from different background, different caste, different religion, they were all attracted to Srila Prabhupada. That's Prabhupada's potency. A pure devotee can create that effect of somebody to come forward, surrender to Supreme Lord by chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So this is a very nice thing, and so this is the correct conclusion of the Vishnu Dutas. This is the last verse in this. Then actually first time these Yamadutas are coming across somebody who is obstructing their way of, because Yamadutas generally come to take the sinful soul to their master Yamaraja. So this is the first time somebody came and obstructed, and they were looking very wonderful personality, and they were also a little bewildered now after hearing all these things. Then we'll hear from next class that how these Yamadutas, they go to their master Yamaraja and they give this, all this. Then we'll still hear the glories of the holy name. So it's very powerful. These two examples given actually, they're just like a fire can burn the dry grasses to ashes. And second, in the second verse it is mentioned that if a person unaware of the effective potency of a certain medicine, take the medicine or is forced to take it. Sometimes children, they don't take medicine, correct? Parents, they trick them and give the medicine. Because the moment they take the medicine, their disease will be cured. Similarly, if we take this medicine, similarly, even though one does not know the value of chanting the holy name of the Lord, if one chant knowingly or unknowingly, the chanting will be effective. So it's very, very powerful process. We'll hear further. I'll stop here. Grantara Srimad-Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.